Okay, here is Jane out of her box. Before we do anything else, I'm going to point out she's holding her stick. It took a little while to get her to hold the stick, so I'm pointing that out before I bump her and mess her up, so you can see. See, there it goes. She can, though, actually hold her stick. Okay, but yeah. Alright, so now we're going to look a little bit here. Bring her in for you. And around, and you see her sloth on her back. That also, he comes off and goes on. It's pretty awesome. Okay, so I'm going to look first at her little purse because she's not actually holding her purse. Bring that in real close for you. It looks like the kind of bag you would take traveling with you. It's got a fun little, looks like wood handle with the leaves, and then kind of a quilted texture on it. And then it's got the little strap. It's old-fashioned, definitely. Very fun. And then, of course, it opens. Most all of the purses do indeed open. I haven't seen one yet that doesn't. And then in the purse, they've got these little papers. And I first saw this, went, what? What? Well, as it turns out, there's actually quite a bit of instructions for Jane, because all of her stuff is functional. Very functional. So we're going to explain those little papers right now. Her sloth actually holds the papers. There's the paper, and you saw I was in the sloth. He's got a little spot in his back where you're supposed to kind of slip them in. It's kind of hard to get them in there, but it's pretty fun that you can. I'm not gonna try. And now we're going to look at her stick, because the stick is actually a pen. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? So you've got her little pen that writes on the little notes that are in her purse that then go into the sloth, and then you pass the sloth. Or you could pass all of her and then they get the pen too, I guess, because it's her stick. So let's look a little closer though at her stick / pen. Little skull with a red bow on top, and then he's got a little leaf there that looks like it tied around what would be the neck, and then it looks like it's wrapped up just in vines, and then it kind of has a very spear-like end, so it's probably her main weapon out there in the jungle wandering around by herself, which she's doing a lot of. And then it's got a little handle that is for her. It's actually for her. That's how she was holding it, and it's easy to get it on the one hand at the very least. It's just hard to get her to hold up the other end, but there, see, she can hold her stick. Okay, now that we've looked at all of that fun stuff, let's look at Jane a little bit. Okay, so her hair, nice dark blue. It's almost black. It's actually very dark blue with the little red strands in between, and then her little headband, which is kind of a feathery, leafy kind of bow. Feathery, leafy bow with little smaller leaves, more little spiky kind of leaves. And then look at her face. Isn't she pretty? She's a nice purpley blue, very kind of violet kind of a color of skin. It's very pretty. And then what I like about her face, she's got those little very light blue dots under her eyes. And then she's got her, again with a slight purpley tint, reddish lips. Everything's kind of purple tinted. And then light blue eyes with the pink and a little bit of purple kind of makeup going for her. And look at her earrings. On the one side, we've got a nice feather. On the other side, it looks like a tooth. A tooth of some kind of animal. So, feather and tooth. Okay, now moving down, she's got a beautiful red necklace, which has the choker and the big statement piece. It's all one piece. You look behind, you see all of it is just one solid piece there, which means it'll actually stay on real nice for you. It'll stay where it's supposed to be. Now when we were looking back there, you saw that little thing that's in between, that's on top of her necklace, that these little shoulder cuff things. They're kind of feathers, kind of almost like an Indian, its headpiece. It's like that, only on her shoulders. And then on sprouting from there is a little bit of fur, a little bit of black fur. And then she's got a very purple and blue asymmetrically cut top. Of course, it goes diagonally like that, and underneath that she's got the pink stripes. So she likes to mix, just mix and match every kind of texture she can. Then on her arms, on this arm we've got one black sleeve with the two little, one red and one light blue greenish kind of colored bracelet. And then the other arm, there's just this one little bracelet here. Like kind of things we have on that, just little scratch marks. Just little scratch marks. So this one almost is kind of wooden looking, and then this side, of course, is very not wooden, so it's very natural versus synthetic. Then we'll look at her belt. It's got the little skull to match her stick, and then of course little even smaller skulls on either side, and then you see it's got the red bow again, and then it's got feathers with little red stripes, and she's got like a little tutu. Little blue, it matches the color of this bracelet as well as her earrings. Little tutu, how cute. And then she's got her leggings that are kind of raggedy on the bottom and that end just below her knee, just below her knees, which gives plenty of room for her very fun boots, her very fun, like they're kind of boot-like, they're sandals really. On the one, we've got a snake wrapping up all the way. You see his little head there. And on the other side, it's kind of just like leather straps. Very traditional kind of look for it is what it looks like. It looks like there's metal in there, or would be. And of course then a feathery leaf. Is it a leaf? Is it feathers? It's several feathers. Several feathers, which of course balances nicely with her feather earring on this side. And then the little red flower at the bottom. And then the flowers on both sides. And then the back of the heels, the actual heels, it looks like there's leaves wrapped there. Very fun. Okay, and there we have Jane and her pet needles. And as I mentioned, I was going to figure out a little bit what her parentage actually is. It's just kind of a take on Dr. Boolittle. It's a little play on words kind of thing going on there. Dr. Boolittle is just the monster version of Dr. Dolittle, and that is why her ability is actually to very much speak with the animals and understand them. And, well, that's all I'm going to say about her parenting. Because, there's a little bit more if you really want to know, but it's not for kids. It's not for kids, so I'm not going to talk about it. No, we're not going there. So anyway, here she is, and her pet needles, and she's a beautiful doll, all kinds of fun, what with the pen and the secret messages, and the little purse that passes the papers. And she's just a very, very amazing character. She's very fun, very creative of them, really. And very ideal for what they needed out of her, which of course was to kind of introduce the critter line and whatnot. And she's a very beautiful doll with all kinds of little things going on. She's very fun, she's very pretty, and she's a great addition to any collection. We love her bunches. And I hope you enjoyed this video, this look at Jane, and I will see you guys next video.